The offseason for the Carolina Panthers is in full swing, and it's time for my very first draft video, one of many that I'm going to do in the offseason so far. This is my very first one, so if you guys are new, make sure you like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, because I'm going to be consistent on this content like this for the rest of the offseason. Man, I got some great content for y'all, some more top fives of positions of need. I'm going to dive deep into specific players as well as we get closer to the draft as well, and also start diving deep into free agency, some guys that we want to extend, a bunch of stuff that you guys want to, content you guys want to consume as Panthers fans. I promise you I will not disappoint all offseason. So if you guys are new, make sure to subscribe and also share for me as well. With that being said, let's head right into it. Okay, so as I saw by the title, we're about to head into the top 5 edge rushers in the 2025 NFL Draft. I want to clear this up before I head into it. Listen, Abdul Carter, it's probably going to be no way we get Abdul. You already know who my number one pass rusher is. It's Abdul Carter. Before I get into it, I just want to say, it's the draft. Anything is possible. Anything's possible. Okay, if there's a situation that happens in the first 4 picks and he's still there, number 5, and we want to trade up because we love Abdul so much, and Abdul is a generational pass rusher, as I'm going to say here in a second, anything can happen. It's the NFL draft. It's the NFL draft, and, situations happen. We are not in this, coach's room. We're not in Dan Morgan's room when they're talking about it. We only know so much until the draft actually happens. So I just want to clear that up of why I'm doing a top 5. I'm only doing top 5s also for positions of need, like really big needs, because again, if I'm not doing a top 5 offensive line, because that doesn't matter. We're not going to be drafting any of the top 5 tackles or guards. We're not, because we don't need that, right? So that being said, I just want to clear it up. Why I still have Abdul in here, because at the end of the day, it's a draft. Anything can happen. You never know what they're talking about. Dave Canales and Dan Morgan, Brent Tillis. You never know what they're talking about, right? So I just want to clear it up. And with that being said, let's head right into it. Okay, number 1 is Abdul Carter. I think this is pretty simple. He is an elite pass rusher, man. He is literally a Mykel Parsons. I think he's a better version of Mykel Parsons coming out of college. He's very versatile. He has so much production with 11 sacks this season at Penn State. Elite finesse moves. He's just so fast. Like, he has the quickest first step I've ever seen of any pass rusher. He's versatile. As I mentioned, he can play on the edge. He can play kind of how Mykel Parsons plays in the middle. He can play off the line, kind of as the linebacker, like a Frankie Louvu would play, kind of blitzing up the middle type. He's solid in the run game as well. He's just a very polished edge prospect, as you're going to see in some of the clips I show here in a second. He's very polished. He has everything you want in a pass rusher, in a franchise pass rusher. He has it all already. I think this is a generational pass rusher. I think you're going to see it year 1. I think you're going to see it. He's going to be as good as Mykel Parsons in 2-3 years, and maybe even better. Like, that's how good he is. And he's not only good against bad teams too. Like, saw against Notre Dame in the playoff game. He was everywhere. He was everywhere. He was limited. He was hurt. His left hand was hurt. I think he had like 1 or 2 sacks still. Like, he's so dominant. He's a force. He's everything you want in a pass rusher, in a franchise pass rusher is that. So he is easily the number 1 pass rusher for me. I don't think it's really a debate. Again, winning a couple more games kind of made us to where right now we will not be able to get him. And it sucks because, dude, he's like a generational prospect, in my opinion. It's him and Travis Hunter are my 1-2. The quarterbacks are not better than any of these players. Cam Ward, Shador, they're not better than Travis Hunter or Cam Ward, not even a little bit. Travis Hunter and Abdul Carter. None of these quarterbacks are. It's just not. It's not true, right? So, with that being said, let's head right into the film. I'm gonna show you a couple of clips about each prospect and just kind of dive in a little bit of tape. Okay, so here's the first one I want to show. He's right there on the top. You saw him. Boom. Just watch how quick he makes that move. Okay, I think it's gonna show you again, but just watch how quick he makes that move off the top. Look at that. Boom. First step, quick. You're gonna kind of replay it for you. Ready? Top. Boom. Quick, the quickest first step you'll ever see from a pass rusher, especially in college. And again, he's not playing against bums either. He's playing against great players at the tackle position. He's also very versatile. He can play on the inside as well and just do whatever he wants. So just that's elite. And here he is on the bottom going against, again, Ohio State is not a bad team at all. They're in the national championship game for a reason. And he does this against great teams. This just another first step right there. Bang, goes right inside. This is a perfect example of he has the traits, he has the tools, he has everything. This is probably one of my favorite plays from him just because, again, just watch what he does. He goes inside. Boom. Like, he's very versatile. He can go the outside with his speed. He can go inside with the power, use his hands, kind of just get just use his leverage as a pass rusher in every way. And again, it seems like he can go around tackles with ease. Just right there, you saw it again. He can go around tackles with ease. It's kind of easy for him at this point. Again, he can go around. It's just that the first step is what gets him. It just seems like every time is what gets these tackles is the first step. And he has the quickness. He has everything you want in a franchise pass rusher. And he just does it again, man. Look at that. What, he had like 11 and a half sacks this year, easily the most in college football. And I mean, there's really no downside from Abdul Carter right now. There's none. He's the second best player in the draft. People will try to tell you Cam Ward is, because he's a quarterback. No. Abdul Carter's better than Cam Ward right now easily. It's him and Travis Hunter, the 1-2. Right? So I'm saying you can take it. This is the year that you're okay with being bad at edge rusher because, yes, Abdul Carter, you're not in position to get him right now. But all the way to 5, all these top 5 picks, honestly, this edge group is 7 deep. Really. The top 5 are like really good first-round prospects, right? The first 4, like, definitely first round. The 5th guy I really like a lot, but I don't know yet if he's a first-round prospect in my eyes. But this is the year, if you're going to be terrible at edge, this is the year to do it because it's really deep. The edge position is really deep. So with that being said, let's head to my second guy. Okay, my number 2 is James Pierce Jr. out of Tennessee. Again, he's very underrated. A lot of people don't have him this high. A lot of people have James Pierce in their 4 or 5 range probably, but not in their top 3. Not a lot of people do. He's my number 2. First of all, he's a freak athlete. His like hands go all the way to his knees or his like shins or okay, not that long, but he's very athletic. He's very long. He's very fast. He's very explosive with his speed. He's a freak athlete. He has great size. His production is there as well. I think he had like 7.5 sacks this year. He has underrated power moves. So with the length, again, whenever I look at the edge play, when I go over film, of course, like with myself, I look at traits and I look at just the ability. Can you win most of your reps and how are they pleasing? Again, because highlights are highlights. Whenever you watch highlights, you're gonna get highlights, right? So you got to really dictate when you're watching film. Like, okay, am I pleased by this a lot? And when I watch him, every rep, he wins because of his athletic ability. And he can just, it's kind of like Abdul Carter, just not as versatile. Of course, can't play really. He's the pure edge rusher. But in terms of like getting his way to the quarterback, he can do pretty much the same thing. He can go inside, go outside. His length is just put an arm in you, go to the outside, and get to the quarterback. And you'll see that with film too. And he's very solid in the run game as well. Again, his length, it just does a lot for him. And when it comes to position and translating to NFL, you want to look at traits. You want to look at traits and production the most. Because again, the NFL, the draft, it's hard to predict what players are going to do. It's hard. It's just hard to do it because you're trying to say, can this college player translate to the NFL? And that's so hard to do. You know? So, with that being said, let's head right into the James Pierce film. Okay, so you're going to see with this first play, it's kind of like Abdul Carter. It's just literally this. It's similar. It's similar, and like he has the length, he has all of it. It's just that's perfect when going to the NFL, bro. It's perfect. It's perfect. It's perfect. It's perfect. You want flashy plays like this because if you're not flashy and you're just winning because you're just better, it's not really you're not gonna be excited about the NFL because the NFL guys are better, they're bigger, and all that. So plays like this gets me excited about James Pierce. Right, as you can see, boom, he goes right inside. Literally was reminiscent to that one Abdul Carter play that we saw. I think it was the last one where he just goes right inside. This is probably my favorite one. Just uses his length. He's long. He just that little swim move kind of goes to the inside. Perfect play from James Pierce right there. This play I think is on the top. This play he uses his power moves. Just goes right in him and then uses a swim move and gets easy, right? Against UTEP, it don't matter. But this play wasn't really flashy at all. Here we go, boom, right around. It's like it's Abdul Carter. Him and Abdul Carter, in my opinion, have the most flashy plays. They just, to me, are my top 2 pass rushers, top 2 edge rushers in this class, and this is what they are. And here's his power moves again, right? Again, he didn't win this rep really that much, right? You saw he kind of got held up, but if you can use your power moves, if you can have that, it's perfect. And goes right around him, just against Alabama too, right? Telling you, James Pierce is elite. He's an elite pass rusher. Not as versatile. Abdul Carter, of course, can't really go out there and just play up here if he wanted to, right? He can't really do that. But as a pure edge rusher, man, he has the tools, he has the traits, he has the length, he has the size, he has the speed, he has the power. I mean, he has it, So with that being said, let's hit my third guy. Okay, number 3 is Jalon Walker out of Georgia. Okay, I was struggling between the 2 Georgia guys, so you kind of have an idea who my 4th guy is. I picked Jalon Walker because he's versatile. He's versatile. He can kind of play outside linebacker. He's not like a versatile like a Abdul Carter where he can kind of blitz inside. I'm sort of talking about he can play the edge, or he can play an outside linebacker role and play zone and do that as well. So he's very versatile, and he also has 6.5 sacks this year, and he's very, very productive in the sense of even if he's not making a sack or a play, he's there at all times. Like you can see Jalon Walker making plays all the time. Like if he's not out there getting a sack, getting a TFL, he's always out there and he's making an impact on the play. And I noticed that about Jalon Walker more than I did about the next Georgia player that I'm going to talk about. Is he's always making an impact, right? And he's versatile. And winning the Buckus Award proved that he's very versatile as well. The best linebacker in the country this season in college football. And again, he's just polished. He's polished. Again, he doesn't have the traits as much as James Pierce, all that. My 1-3, you can flip it. If you want Jalon Walker 2, it makes sense because in the sense of he's more polished. James Pierce has a little work to do. He has a little work to do, right? You're not coming in here saying, oh my gosh, he's so flashy. He's making all the plays. He doesn't have the Buckus Award winner. You know what I'm saying? All that. The 1 and 3 are very versatile. So is 4 even. Like James Pierce is probably the least versatile out of the top 4. Like in the sense of he's just a pure pass rusher, right? But Jalon Walker, I don't know. Traits intrigue me a lot. They really do. In terms of just whenever you're rushing the quarterback and you're going from the college to NFL, which is not an easy thing to do. Traits, size, and everything they mean a lot. They mean a lot. They're not the end all be all, right? They're not the end all be all, but they mean a lot, especially at the edge position going up against the best tackles in football. So with that being said, let's head right into some Jalon Walker film. Okay, so you see Jalon Walker here, right here, versatile. He's not on the edge, right? Not on the edge. He's right here in the middle. So it just proves the versatility right here on the first play. Bam, he goes back. It's not really a pass rush. It's just, again, making impacts, right? You're not seeing him, again, now he's on the edge. He's going outside. Very good in the run game as well, right? Which just shows you how polished he is. He can play all games, right? This is another run play right here where he gets a sack. So quarterback doesn't run. Here on the edge again. Wins with power again. You're not going to see him with speed, really. You're going to see him use more power moves because he's not as fast as James Pierce and Abdul Carter. But again, when you're going to the NFL and you can be this versatile and you have the power that you have, look, he's playing middle linebacker right here and he's just getting out the running back. Very, very versatile. Again, this is a deep edge rushing class. If you don't get Abdul Carter, dude, you are good, right? And you don't even necessarily need to draft the edge rusher in the first round. I would say that's your biggest need. And with this much talent, do it. Do it. Like at pick 8, dude, if Jalon Walker and James Pierce are still there at 8, trade down. Like I would go edge first because I think the most talent's there, and I just think that's your biggest need. Just get the biggest need out the way with the most talent that there is, right? If you wanted to say, hey, let's go Malachi Starks, because Malachi Starks, in my opinion, is one of the best players in the draft as well. He's probably a top 6 talent in the draft, but he's probably, in my opinion, but he's probably going to be somewhere in the 5 to 10 range. So he could fall to 8. Realistically, depends. Again, the draft is weird. It's a safety. Safeties aren't usually top 7 picks, really, unless you're like a Kyle Hamilton type player. And even Kyle Hamilton wasn't a top 7 pick, right? So you can do a lot here, right? And then you can also, you're picking 50, your next pick is 50. You could trade up and get the 5th guy on my board who's not projected to really go insanely high. I think you can get him at 50 if he falls. So you have a lot of versatility. If you're Jared Vero, Dave Canales, Brent Tillis, Dan Morgan, you can do a lot here in this draft. You don't have to go edge first. I would say go edge first. With this much talent, bro, if you're going to trade down a couple spots and just get a Jalon Walker or James Pierce, because James Pierce is projected to be like 15th. So with where I have him, I would want James Pierce so much with the talent level that he has and all that. James Pierce would be my guy, of course, but I don't know. That being said, let's head right into my fourth guy. Okay, and with my fourth guy, I got Mykel Williams, the second Georgia player. Aaron Donald is kind of like just an unpolished version of Aaron Donald. He plays primarily inside, but he can play on the edge as well. He's kind of like an Aaron Donald type player, but he's so good at rushing the passer. He has the elite tools and traits. He's also kind of long, whereas probably and he has the explosive pass rush. Him and Jalon Walker are more of the power moves type pass rushers instead of the, speed is what they can bring you. And as I mentioned, he's versatile. He can play inside, he can play outside. But instead of playing like an Abdul Carter, Jalon Walker, where they're standing up, he's always down, which is why I mentioned Aaron Donald, right? As he can, he puts his hand to the ground and goes right there, swim moves, power moves, all that to get to the quarterback, right? And again, not a lot of ton of production. He's not flashy like a Jalon Walker where every play it's like, oh, Mykel Williams is making a play. It's just you see him out there because he's so long, he's so big, he has the elite tools and traits, but he's flashy at times, right? Which is why I took the lean over Jalon Walker because I feel like he's more productive. He makes more of the plays down to down than Mykel Williams does. But if you're going tools and traits and just twitchiness, you could say Mykel's 3. But I'm not because Jalon Walker is the type of dude that you want on your team. Just can play at multiple positions, especially when you're running a 3-4. But at the same time, though, based off of need that we have in the 3-4, and the 3-4, you really run that to, play to get a pure pass rusher first, and then you get a pure run stopper. Mykel Williams or James Pierce is kind of what you want in terms of the scheme that you have, right? But let's head to film. Okay, here we go. You see him right here in the middle, 13. See how he's playing in the middle. He's not always on the edge, right? But he's always has his hand in the dirt, pretty much. It's because he's bigger and stuff like that. So, you know what I'm saying? Look, hand in the dirt. He's on the edge, right? Stops the run. Again, I really want to find edge rushers that can also stop the run as well because I think that means a lot to this football team, bro, because we have Brian Burns, who was a elite pass rusher, but he couldn't stop the run as much. Look at that. Great stopping the run right there. Again, but the NFL is so hard to predict because whenever you're translating, it's kind of a thing. It's hard, but you see most of these reps are stopping the run, man. And right by the same time, you already have Derek Brown and Ashawn Robinson inside who can just stop the run elitely. So you got to find a pure pass rusher. And as I mentioned, he's not flashy stopping, just get after the quarterback. He's not, which is why I did not have him at 3 because I'm ready to find that just player who can stop, just get after the quarterback every single play, right? We already have that dominant just run stopper and a great number 2 with Ashawn Robinson, who can also do a little bit in the pass game as well. But again, like you see with the power moves right there, he's not really fast. He just gets there with the power moves, but he has the twitchiness, the traits. Look at that, boom, just right in him. Like you're not gonna see him try to swim out of him. You're not gonna see him put his hand like that's just power right there. That right there, that rep right there is all power. You see him inside, boom, power right through. So it's kind of like an Aaron Donald type. The potential's there. But right now, I want to take him over Jalon Walker, James Pierce, or Abdul in terms of potential, or in terms of just like right now, pure pass rusher. I'm not taking him over any 3 of those 3 guys. And even number 5, who is a great, great pass rusher. The production, matches it. So with that being said, let's head on to my last pass rusher of the video right now. Okay, number 5. I was struggling, man. I was going through a bunch. I was thinking JT at Ohio State, Jack Sawyer, but nah, Princely Umanmielen. I keep butchering his name. I practiced a couple times until I started this video, but I don't know if I got it right fully. But he's a stud, bro. Like I watched film, I was really struggling to say because Jack Sawyer has a lot of hype. You got Mike Green out of Marshall getting a bunch of hype right now. I just want to say right now, Mike Green, good player, but just not flashy enough for me. I don't know if he can really translate that in the NFL. I hope I'm wrong. Because again, a bunch of Panther fans like him, but I'm going to keep it real. He's a player that I look at as just mediocre. And he played at Marshall, right? So the competition is not great either. So he's just not flashy. He's just not flashy. And I really look at that whenever you're going from college to NFL. Do you have the traits? Do you have the tools? All that, as I stated again. I don't want to mention it, but his strengths are he has elite production, 10.5 sacks. I bet you did not know he had 10.5 sacks. Right behind Abdul Carter for the second most in college football. Great with his hands to win the reps. You'll see that as you watch film. Great speed and power. right? But he just gets around guys, bro. Like, he just uses his hands, gets around guys. He's solid in the run game as well. He's just a very polished pass rusher, just edge rusher in general. Very underrated. Very underrated. I think you could have him at 4 if you really want him to, just because I feel like he doesn't have the tools and everything that Mykel does, but in terms of a more polished, just he has the pass rush ability, all of that, you could say he's better than Mykel Williams right now. You can, right? You can. Very underrated. Very underrated. I'm surprised people are not talking about him more because he is a second round prospect right now in the second round. And I think his potential is more of like a top 30, like a late first round type player, is how good he can really be. I just think that's what he is. I think that's what he is. He's very good. Very good. And as we're going to watch film here in a second, first place him on top. Some plays from last year, but you see he goes around the path. Look at that. See, just watch how easy this play was. And you see that, like, a lot of his sacks and a lot of him getting to the quarterback is just simple. He uses his hand. He just gets around the tackles. It seems easy. Right, I see him right here. He's putting his hand to the ground. Great run stopper. I said he's very polished. Very polished in the run and the pass game. Here he is standing up right here. Again, at Ole Miss, he had 10.5 sacks. This is the year prior at Florida, which he also did very well. But he's just very instinctive. He has great tools. Again, he's not as fast. He's not really a speed rusher. He's more of a power rusher, if you had to say. But I don't know. It's just very interesting. But this edge group is very deep. Very deep. But it's just like he wins easy, bro. I don't know why. It's not quick. He's not really fast. He just wins, and that's intriguing because you have stuff to work going into the NFL. Boom, power right there. Again, if he doesn't win, right here, it just shows you. If he did not win this rep, try to get around, didn't do it, just said, boom, get out of my way, and got to him. And here in the run game as well. Like, this is the type of stuff you want to see. This type of polished edge prospects you want to see. Great in the run game, great in the pass game, can do everything. Has 10.5 sacks. I think he has 25.5 sacks in college in general. And that's very good. That's a very good player. Not a lot of players can do that. Not the best of the best. It's hard for the best of the best to even do that. I mean, look at this rep. Goes right inside. Boom. Just loses, but uses power. Just get off me. Gets inside. Right to the quarterback. I mean, plays like this prove it. But again, like, as I said it before, man, this edge group is very talented. It's very deep this year, man. And I'm very excited to see what we do in the draft. I'm very excited. Are we going to, stay put at 8, draft the receiver, and then go edge in the second round, trade up maybe? Are we going to trade down because we really like a James Pierce, like a Jalon Walker, who I really like? Their options are on the table. And it's very intriguing, very exciting. I'm just ready for the draft, man, because it's very intriguing, very exciting. All the players and all the talents that you see as I showed y'all in this video, and it's very exciting. So, with that being said, if you guys like this video, make sure you like, subscribe, turn on notifications, because I'm gonna be consistently dropping Panthers content all off season. I'm trying to be just 2 videos a week and a live a week. I'm gonna go live sometime this week. I don't know, it'll be Wednesday or Thursday, maybe Sunday. I might go live Sunday actually. But just stay tuned for this video, and then I'm gonna drop another one for sure this week because I'm trying to get as much content as possible. Of course, if anything crazy happens, I'm gonna go live for it. But I want to get some draft videos out. Probably 2 more top 5. Probably receivers definitely gonna be one, because receiver, we're probably gonna draft the receiver. If it's not first, second round, probably third round. So I'm gonna do top 5 for that. Top 5 corner as well, because the corner position is very, very intriguing. I love the corner position. We could go corner. Again, we don't really need it as much. But at the end of the day, it wouldn't be bad to use a corner, a very talented corner who I really like. I might do a solo video on him. There's a guy that I really love. I might do a solo video on him and just go over film with y'all about him in general. I might not do a top 5 maybe. But yeah, I probably won't, because the first 4 guys are probably not in question. But there is a guy I really love out of Kentucky. So if you guys want to, maybe take a look at him. I'm not gonna say his name. You guys got to figure out yourself. But just stay tuned for videos, man. I'm going to be dropping consistently for y'all and all off season. We're going to head into free agency talk. What we should do. Receiver position. I think my live on Sunday is going to be about, the receiver position. Garrett Wilson, T. Higgins, should we draft one? Just all these different options that we have at the receiver position right now. It's probably what I'll go live on Sunday about, just because I don't want to make a video and edit it. I just want to go live and talk with y'all, what's in y'all mind about it. But just watch out for these offseason videos, man. I'm going to be throwing them like darts. Probably trying to do twice a week. For y'all. And just stay tuned. I'm going to just try to grind as much as possible for y'all. And I appreciate y'all for all the support, for all y'all tuning in. Thank y'all for 400 subscribers. I would not be here without any of y'all. And just for tuning in every single day. And I love all y'all. And I will see y'all in the next video. Peace.